Good day. Welcome to our math subject orientation. I will be your math teacher here in grade 7 Volcanoes Team. And here are some basic information about me. My full name is Giancarlo Apapasigay. I am 26 years of age and this is my 6th year of teaching. I spent the first 5 years in my home country, which is the Philippines, and was able to teach math in grade school and also in high school. Also, I was able to coach students who are intellectually gifted and was able to compete internationally and also locally. One fun fact about me, I have a dog, a Shih Tzu dog, and his name is Coco. But unluckily, I wasn't able to bring my dog here in the US. So he's there in the Philippines together with my mom. So for our math class, this is what you need to know. The first one is you have to prepare 1-inch binder to hold important papers from our class. I will be giving worksheets and notes that you can just keep it inside the binder so you have all the files with you. Second one, always bring a pencil in my class. Because in my class, I will allow you to compute using a paper and a pencil so that we can see how far do you know the lesson and how far do you know the computation. So it's easy to make use of a pencil so you can easily erase it if you commit mistakes while solving. Third one, you may bring a pair of headphones that are not Bluetooth. Okay, I'm asking you to bring your own so that if I ask you to watch a video tutorial, you can just make use of your own headphones. Fourth one, I will post all classworks and class lessons in our Google Classroom. So if you will be asking, or for example, you're absent, just go to your Google Classroom and everything will be there. Okay? What will we learn in math? The first one is the concept of end operations with rational numbers. And if you were able to study this when you were in grade 6, then we will just continue that here in grade 7. Second one, the concept of ratios to solve problems involving proportional reasoning. Also, a bit of a geometry where you will solve problems involving volume and surface area and focus on the relationships among the properties of quadrilaterals. Fourth one, comparing experimental results to theoretical expectations. This is somewhat probability. Fifth one, develop your understanding of solving linear equations and inequalities in one variable by applying the properties of real numbers. And this goes the concept of algebra. 6 is proportional and non-proportional relationship, and develop a concept of slope as rate of change. Okay, for you to contact Sir Pasigay, this is what you need to know. My email is jcpasigay@pgs.k12.va.us, though I will only respond to your emails from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. every weekdays. If in case you will email me on a weekend, if I'm available, I will try my best to respond. But if I can't respond on a weekend, please allow me to give until Monday to respond back. Okay, you may also contact the school phone 804-733-2740. Okay, so before you leave and before you end this virtual orientation, I want you to get to know me more. Please watch this video.
Are you ready to be a royal? Welcome to J.E.J. Moore Middle School. My name is Giancarlo Abapasigay, your grade 7 math teacher here in Volcanoes Team. I am an international teacher from one of the largest archipelagos in the world with 7,641 islands, Philippines. It's more fun in the Philippines. when you see its beautiful sceneries and beaches. Aside from its natural wonder, one more to be proud of is our people. Do you know Lea Salonga? A Broadway diva, Apple Day Up of Black Eyed Peas, Arnel Pineda of Journey, Cherise Pempenko, Bruno Mars. They are a true Filipino pride. All of them are singers. In our country, karaoke is a popular social activity among our citizens of all ages. Whether one knows how to sing or not, karaoke is a well loved activity. So do I. Filipinos are the biggest fans of boxing and pageants. Whenever Manny Pacquiao has a televised fight, it seems like it's a national holiday throughout the country due to the absence of cars on the road and even people in the mall. Same goes with watching Miss Universe, especially as Pia Wurtzbach and Catriona Gray won. As you remember these people for making a big name in their chosen career, I want you to remember my name too. You can call me Sir Jace or Mr. P. Not famous, but same with those famous stars, I can surely make a big difference to your growth in learning math. With all humility, I have been a consistent honor student in elementary and graduated on top as a valedictorian in high school. I spent my college education at the National Center for Teacher Education in the Philippines, Philippine Normal University, with the course Bachelor of Science in Mathematics for Teachers, where I was recognized as one of the best demonstration teachers. I have taught math for about 5 years in my home country and became a math coach for students who compete locally and abroad. Then I ventured this exchange visitor opportunity in USA. Some of you might be asking, why teaching? It's not just for the sake of sharing my knowledge to my students, but also an opportunity to inspire these kids to be the best that they can be. My life story was featured in a television news show in the Philippines called TV Patrol and Rated K, and was broadcasted to some local radio shows. My story inspired a lot of youth to do their best in their studies and continue striving to have a better life. So I promise to help my students find math as a fun and easy subject. This will surely be a challenge, but there's no harm in trying. It will be a great privilege to change the lives of all youth of any race for the better. I promise to help them value education, which will surely open doors of opportunities for them.
Piliin mo ang Pilipinas.
Okay, happy Thursday, everyone. So, for today, we'll be discussing a new lesson. So, before that, don't forget all of these rules while you are listening to this video. Obey, listen, and apply. Follow directions quickly. Raise your hand for permission to speak. Make a sign before you leave your seat. Make everyone happy and make smart choices. Let's start our drill. So our drill for today is converting between fractions, decimals, and percents. So if you can still remember what we did from our previous lesson, you can apply that here in our drill. You may use a paper, a pencil, so you can give your answer. Ready? Good luck. Convert 0.2%. Okay, 0.22% is 20%. So for those who forgot, what you can do on how to work on this one is to move 2 units to the right. So from 0.2, 1, and then 2. So you can have like 2 and then 0. So this will become 20%. Okay. Next. Ready. Convert 0.5 fraction. Okay, 0.5 to fraction is 1/2. Okay, so if you want to change 0.5 into a fraction form, what you can do is to read this correctly. This is 5/10. So you'll have your 5/10. But you can simplify this one by dividing it to its GCF. 5 divided by 5 is 1, and 10 divided by 5 is 2. That's why we got an answer of 1/2. Okay. Ready for the next one. Convert 43/100 decimal. Okay, let's see. 43/100 to decimal is 0.43. Okay, just look at the denominator. It says here hundreds, and you have hundreds. The last place value in a decimal must be in hundreds as well. So this is tens, this is hundreds. So if you would like to write it in decimal, then you'll have 43/100 as well. Okay, so that's our third drill. Let's go now to the fourth one. Convert 0.75 to fraction. Okay, and the correct answer here is 3/4. Okay, some of you might give an answer that is not in simplified form. So this is 75/100. So what you can get is 75/100. But this can be simplified by dividing it to its GCF. So divided by 25, divided by 25. Okay, 75 divided by 25 is 3. And 100 divided by 25 is 4. That's why you will be getting 3/4. Okay, so that is the final answer. For the next one, ready? Convert 1%. So if you would like to convert 1 to percent, just move 2 units to the right and you will get an answer. The answer is 100%. Okay, so take a look. So from 1, just move 2 units to the right. So that's 1 and 2. So you'll get 100 and then put the percent symbol. And there you have it. That's 100%. Okay. Comment down below your score if you get 5 in this drill, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So good job for those who got high scores for this drill. Ready? Let's have a brain teaser game. And you can answer this by pair, or if you want by group, or if you can do this independently, do it. Ready? Brain teaser for 1 minute only.
The game begins in 3, 2, 1.
when we mean by ascending, it must be from least to greatest. Okay, and this will be our lesson for today. Okay, our lesson is to compare and order rational numbers using fractions, decimals, percents, integers. We will be doing that here today. Okay. Okay. So ready for our new lesson. So we're done with conversion. We're done with everything. We actually worked on chart completion last time. So if you were able to do that, there's no problem anymore with what you're going to work on today. So for the chart completion, if you're not done there yet, so this is it. Okay, and we can show answers for this one. Okay, take a look. So for 7 over 28, that can be divided or can be simplified. 7 over 28, when you simplify it, it will become 1/4. And if you want it to turn into its decimal, just divide 1 by 4. Okay, if you divide 1 by 4, you will get 0.25. And then the percent, move 2 units to the right here, 1 and 2. So you will get 25%. Okay. So I hope you get this. You got this when you worked on this one. Next. So in the second row, the decimal here is 7 thousandths. So if the place value is 1,000, then your denominator would be 1,000. Okay, and then don't forget to put the digit 7. And this is your answer for its fraction. And for percent, move 2 units again to the right. So 1 and then 2. So you will have 0.7%. Get that. Okay. Next, you have here in the third row 125%. So what you can do here is to get its decimal first. So you have a percent, you have to move 2 units to the left. So that's 1 and then 2. Okay, so your decimal will become 1.25. Okay, and then its fraction, it goes all the way from here, from the 1.25. The 1 there will be your whole number 1. And then the 0.25, you can turn it into its fraction, which is 25 over 100. 25 over 100. Okay. Hope you can remember that. So if that's 25 over 100, you can still simplify this by dividing it. By dividing the numerator and the denominator by 25. So 25 divided by 25, that's 1. And 100 divided by 25, that's 4. So this 1 and 25 hundredths will be equal to 1 and 1/4. Okay. Next, 3 halves. If you want to change it into decimal, just divide 3 by 2 and you will be getting 1.5. Okay. And then its percent, just move 2 units. So 1 and then 2, you will get 150%. Okay. For the last row, so that's 0.5%, 2 units to the left. So from here, 1, 2. So you will get there 0.005. That must be your decimal. Okay, and then if you want to change it into its fraction, take a look at the place value of digit 5. The digit 5 is in the thousands place. So that's 1,000 for the denominator and put 5 here. But 5 over 1,000 can be simplified by dividing it by 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1, and 1,000 divided by 5 is 200. So your answer must be 1 over 200. Okay, I hope you get everything here right when we worked on this in our previous session. So this is just a recap, and this is just a review on what we had before on conversion of fraction, decimal, and percent. So get ready now because we will be doing comparing and ordering of rational numbers. Let's start with comparing. So I have here 4/5 and then 0.75. So what you can do is to turn it into the same rational number, okay, or in the same value. Or what do I mean is like change it into the same fraction or into a fraction, change it into decimal, into percent, it's up to you, as long as it will help you. Okay, so for 4/5 and 0.75, we can change both into decimal. Okay, so let's try if we can change both to decimal so we can compare it properly. So if 4/5 is a fraction, meaning it is not in decimal. So how do we change it in decimal? Don't forget that we will just divide 4 by 5. So in here, you need to put 0.0, 0, and then put a point directly on top. And then treat this as 40. 40 divided by 5, that's 8. You put 8 on the last, or on top of 0. And then 8 times 5, that's 40. And 40 minus 40, that's 0. So take a look. 4/5 is actually equal to 0.8. Okay. So what you can do now is to look at 0.8 and 0.75. So when you compare like decimals or like rational numbers, what you can do is to take a look at the digit right after the decimal point. So after the decimal point, this is 8 here. After the decimal point here, it's 7. And as you can see, 8 is greater than 7. So the symbol that you will put here must be greater than. Okay, so that's how you compare. You have to change both to decimal. Get that? Okay. Next one. Okay. Next one, we can also change this into decimal, or we can change it into fraction, we can change it into percent, it's up to you. Okay. Sir, what if you would like to try to change it to fraction, and how do we compare it? Okay, let's try. Change both to fraction. What if both of this will be changed to fraction? So this one is 1/2. We're good with that. Okay, I'll transfer it here. So what is 0.55 if you change it into fraction? So that is tenths. What are you going to do? If it's a decimal, then you change it to fraction. You look at the last place value. The last place value is 100. Correct? Okay. So if the last place value is 100, your denominator would be 100. And then you will have 55 on the numerator. This can be simplified by dividing the numerator and the denominator by its GCF, 5. So 55 divided by 5 is 11, and 100 divided by 5 is 20. And there, you have here 1/2 and 11 over 20. I'll put 11 over 20. Okay. So take a look, you have 1/2 and 11 over 20. Question, how do you compare this one? When you compare these, you may use the butterfly technique or the cross multiplication. Cross multiplication or the butterfly technique. So what you can do is to multiply 20 and 1. So I'll just show it to you. I'll encircle it with a different color, this one. Multiply this one, 1 and 20, and you can also multiply 2 and 11. Don't forget that when you cross multiply, the product will be put on top of the numerator where you multiplied it. For example, 20 times 1, that's equal to 20. Then 2 times 11, that's equal to 22. So whichever is larger, that means that side is has the largest value. So for example, this one is 20, meaning 1/2 is less than 0.55 because 20 is less than 22. So that is how cross multiplication is used when you compare numbers or compare rational numbers. So that is how cross multiplication works for a fraction. Get that? Okay. So if this is 20 here, this is 22 here, meaning we can say that 1/2 is less than 0.55. Okay, last. Okay, sir, can you change both to fraction or to percent? Okay, let's try. If we will change both to percent, look at 0.625. If you change it to percent, it will be, so move 2 units to the right. So from here, so that's 1 and 2. So this will be equal to 62.5%. Okay. 2/4, if we divide it by 4, 2 divided by 4, we can make the correct decimal, and then from decimal, we can change it to percent right away. So put the decimal point directly on top. 20 divided by 4, that's 5. 5 times 4 is 20. 20 minus 20 is 0. So we get an answer of 0.5. So from 0.5, move 2 units to the right. So from there, it's 1 and then 2. So from there, we know that we will be getting 50%. So what are you going to do? So compare 50% by 62.5%. And if you compare it, you can check that 50 is less than 62.5. So your answer here must be less than. So that is how you compare rational numbers. It's up to you if you want to change it to decimal, change it to fraction, or change it to percent. Your choice. Okay, so just go back here, watch this once more, and then do the steps. Okay, so we're not done. So, sir, how do we order numbers? So if you would like to order numbers like from least to greatest or greatest to least, same procedure on comparing. What you can do is to make sure that everything is in the same form, maybe the same place value, the same fraction, everything is in decimal, everything is in percent. So you can easily order it. Okay, in this case, there's no rule on how will you order it. So let's say we'll order it in ascending order. And as you can see, everything here is a negative number. Remember that a negative number, the bigger the number, the lesser its value. The bigger the number, the less its value because it's a negative. So if it is ascending, you have to find the least number first and then going to the greatest one. So check. So don't be confused. Everything here is negative. So what are we looking for is the decimal with the big number after the decimal point first, because it turns out that it will become our least value, negative decimal. So after the decimal point, you have your 5. This one you have your 0. This one you have your 5. This one you have your 4. So for your first choice in the least, as the least negative decimal is this one and also this one. So this one is 0.5, this one is 0.56. But after 5, in 0.56, you have your 6. This one, you have nothing. So meaning there's a placeholder that is 0. So if you compare 6 and 0, 6 is bigger. Okay? So basically, negative 0.56 will be your least number. So here, okay, don't forget the negative. So that's negative 0.56. Okay, and then your choice is, would be the next one, this one, 0.5 already. Okay, because those two are your choices for the least numbers. So you'll have your negative 0.5. The next one. So look for the third least number. So you have negative 0.056, negative 0.48. Which is bigger here, 0 or 4? That is 4. So this will be your third least number, 0.48, negative 0.48. And the greatest negative decimal here would be negative 0.056. Okay, so don't forget, you might be looking at it as it's the other way around, but this is the same as least to greatest. Remember, the bigger the absolute value of that number, the less its value. Okay, so you have there 0.56, 0.5, 0.48, and then 0.056. Okay, so that is our first ordering. And good thing here is everything is in decimal form, so we can easily order it. Let's try another one. Take a look at this one. This one is in different forms. 3 of these are in fractions, and the other one is in percent. So we have to change it. Take a look at everything. It's your choice on how you will change it. Let's say you want to change it everything into percent, or let's say you want to change everything into fraction. It's up to you. Whatever will help you. Okay. This one is 0.25%. How do you change that into a fraction or into a decimal? Okay, let's change that into a fraction. So for you to easily get this into fraction, look at the last place value. In decimal first. Decimal, move 2 units to the left. So 1 and 2. So that will be 0.0025. And then look at the last place value, that is tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000. So that will be 10,000. And then there will be 25 in the numerator. So what is this in lowest term? Divide both by 25. So 25 divided by 25 is 1. 10,000 divided by 25 is 400. Am I right? Yeah, 400. So that's 1 over 400. So from here, you have to compare everything. Which of the following would be the greatest or the least number? So let's say, for example, we will be arranging this into ascending orders, T, ascending order. Okay, so this is 2 and 4/7. It has a whole number. So that's a mixed number. This is 1 over 400. So that's just a fraction, a proper fraction. This is 2/5. That's just a proper fraction. And then this one, 5/2. This is improper, meaning we can change this into its mixed number. So let's change this first into its mixed number form. Okay. If we will change this into mixed number, you can divide it by, you can divide 5 by 2. 5 divided by 2 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 5 minus 4 is 1. So this will be your whole number, 2. The remainder will be your numerator, 1. And then the divisor will be your denominator. So that's 2 and 1. So take a look at what you're going to compare. 1 over 400, 2 and 1 half, 2 fifths, and then 2 and 4 sevenths. Okay. So if it is from least to greatest, so look at the fractions or mixed numbers. So basically, if they are mixed numbers, automatically, they will be part of the greatest one. Since you have fractions here, fractions. So from these fractions, compare them. So if you have 1 over 400, I'll just rewrite. So if you have 1 over 400 and then you have your 2 fifths, compare which of the two between the two is the least. So cross multiply, 1 times 5, then 2 times 400. So 5 times 1 is 5. 2 times 400 is 800. So basically, 2 fifths is the greater fraction than 1 over 400. So what will be your least? Your least is 1 over 400. So no problem anymore with the next less number. That will automatically be 2 fifths. Okay. Next, compare 2 and 4 sevenths and then 2 and 1 half. So no need to compare the whole number. You know that 2 and 2 are equal. So just compare the fraction. Whichever is the lesser number or lesser fraction, that will be the third least fraction there. So let's compare 4 sevenths and 1 half. Cross multiply. 2 times 4, you will have 8 here. And then 1 times 7, you will have 7 here. So which is less? Which is 1 half. Correct? So what will you put here is 2 and 1 half. And then 4 sevenths, since you found out that this is the greatest one, the 2 and 4 sevenths from here. Ascending order, least to greatest. So that is how you do this. Okay. So basically, that's how you work on this one, and I hope it helps and it will help everybody to solve for this one. So I have posted something in your Google Classroom about conversion, yeah, for you to practice. So take a look at your Google Classroom. It's here. So if you're not done yet with IXL, you can still work on this one. This was posted yesterday. And then for today, you can work on the Delta Math and it's still conversion. Okay, you can access this today. So just work on this one. Right after these two Google Classroom tasks, you can have your extra activity. It's about comparing and color. So just color and compare. You will be receiving a paper. Okay, don't forget to work on that as well. If ever you were able to finish these two tasks here in the Google Classroom. Okay, so good luck and thank you so much for listening. If you will have a problem on how to do this, we will still meet on the next session and then just ask me whatever you want to ask, of course, related to math only. But we have teachers inside who can help you. Just talk to them. Okay, so that may be it. So for the last one, just comment in the comment section below your level of understanding. If you're in 1, 2, 3, and 4, 4 means I could teach others this new skill. 3 can do this task independently now. 2, I still have some questions. And 1, I need lots of help. Thank you so much for listening, and that is comparing and ordering rational numbers. Have a great day ahead. Thank you. Okay, good morning. And happy Wednesday, everybody. So before we proceed, I would just like you to be reminded of our rules for today. So Ola, I hope you will obey, listen, and apply. So follow directions quickly, raise your hand for permission to speak, make a sign before you leave your seat, make everyone happy, and make smart choices. So let's see. If you know some of the multiplication computation, and try to do this on your own using a paper, pencil, or a whiteboard and a marker. So let's try. First one, multiply these numbers. What is 3 times 3? Okay, 3 times 3, the answer must be 9. Next one. Multiply these numbers. Go. 6 times 6. Answer is 36. Third one. Go. 8 times 8. Let's see. Correct answer is 64. Next item. What is 10 times 10? Correct answer is 100. Next one. This will be our last item. Go. 11 times 11. So answer is 121. Okay, so I hope you got all of this multiplication problem correctly, because we will be using this and applying this in our lesson for today. And this is determining square roots of perfect squares. Okay, so what is a perfect square? If you have heard it, well, we can apply it also, and we can use this and determine this term using Desmos. But before that, a perfect square are numbers which can complete a square shape without having any extra pieces left over. So if you will go to your Google Classroom, there will be a Desmos activity task that you can work on. So let's try it. Okay. So here, so I have here the Desmos activity, the square tag. So for those who will open Google Classroom, just click the Desmos activity for today, and this is our task to work on, the square tag. Okay, for this square tangle, you will be using this one. Okay, so how will you make use of this? And how will this help in our lesson for today? So allow me to annotate. Okay. So in class, I will be giving something like this. Okay, this one. So if you cannot see it, okay. So this kind of paper. So I don't know if you see it clearly or it's blurry. But anyway, this one is called Making Perfect Squares chart. And in the chart, there will be the length here on this side. Okay, so there will be length on this side of the table, and then there's another row, and that is for the area. Okay. So I repeat, there will be a table in this paper. Okay. So what you can do is just to make use of this given here, the side length and the area, for you to be able to complete the chart. Okay. So the side length is in here and the area is in here. So kindly check that. So how will we use the Desmos? So you just need to navigate this circle, this one, this red point, until you go to 15, until 15 length. Okay, length of 15. So you can start with 1. So if you have 1 as your side length, the area is also 1. I repeat, if you have this length 1, okay, I put that red point until 1 only. So your length is 1, your area is 1 also. Okay. So let's see. So I put 1 here in the length. 1, and then area is also 1. So you can see that, right? Next. If I will move this again, okay, the length will change and that became 2. We put 2 here, and then the area changes also and it became 4. Okay, so until move up and up, you will have your 3. From here, move it, it became 3. So take a look here again, and it says there, the length is 3. So 3 here. And then the area there is 9. Okay, let's do it one more time. I'll have until 4. So go back here, this one again. Side length here is 4. And the area is 16. Okay, so as you can see, these are only few. This is not done yet. You can have until 15. You can do it on your own. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 until 15 for this length. And then for the area, make sure you will be looking here at this side, that side, so you can get the correct area for each number. Okay, so that's it. That's how you will work on this Desmos until screen 2 only. Right after that, you can turn this in the Google Classroom and you're done. Nothing to do anymore with this Desmos. Okay, so when you complete the chart, when you're done working on this, there is just one question that I want you to ponder on. Okay, let me stop share. Let me share my screen once more. Okay. So there are, okay, this is how you see it a while ago. So if you have a length of 1, the area of the square is 1. If you have a length of 2, the area of the square from your Desmos is 4. If you have a length of 3, the area of the square is 9. Okay, and moving on, if you have a length of 4, the area is 16. If you have 5, the area is 25. Okay, if you have an area of 6, a length of 6, the area is 36. And if you have a length of 7, the area is 49. So for those who are not here in our class, you may work on this chart, you may create your own first, and then when you come back to school, I will give you this paper so for you to complete this one. Okay, so this is how it looks like. Make sure your length will reach up until 15. And then don't forget the corresponding area here. Okay, put it somewhere. Make sure to complete this. Okay, so what can you observe? What can you observe from the length in relation to this area? So if you will observe this correctly and properly, the area is actually the length when multiplied to itself. Okay, I repeat, the area is actually the length when you multiply the length to itself. So from here, that's actually 1 times 1. That's why we got an area of 1. Isn't it? Okay. So I'll put it here. The area is actually the length. 1 times 1, multiplying the length to itself. And that is 1 times 1. What else? The second one, if you look at the second one, it's the same thing. That's actually 2 times 2. Right? The third one is also the same. That is actually 3 times 3. Correct? And it goes on and on and on. Here, that's 4 times 4, 525. So on 525, that's actually 5 times 5. 436, that's 6 times 6. For 49, that's 7 times 7. So meaning, even if you don't use the Desmos navigation screen, you can get the area, just multiply the length itself. Okay, I hope you get that. So if you want to reach up until beyond 15, you can also do the same: 16 times 16, 17 times 17, 18 times 18, 19 times 19, and 20 times 20. That is how you do it when you get the area. So how is this related to our lesson? Well, this one actually tells you that this area can make a perfect square. So this side of the table or chart makes a perfect square. Okay, so if you will ask what are the different perfect squares, just look at this column for the area of the squares. And here are the numbers that are a perfect square. We have 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49. And then you have more. We have 64, 81, 100, until you move on to until 20. Okay, I can give you until 20. So where are those? Okay. So this is what I'm telling you a while ago. For you to calculate the values of squares of 1 to 20, you may multiply it by itself. So for example, the square of 11, it is 11 times 11, so you'll get a perfect square of 121. Okay, and it gives you the square of the number 11. So here are the rest of the perfect squares. Okay, here, these are perfect squares. So for you to know, perfect square is actually squaring the number. Okay, so 1 squared, that's 1. So 1 is a perfect square. 2 squared, that's 4. So that is also a perfect square. 3 squared, that's 9. So that's also a perfect square. So these are from 1 to 10. So from 11 to 20, we have these numbers, and these are also perfect squares. Okay, so for example, in 12 squared, that's 144, so that's a perfect square. 16 squared, that's 256, so that's also a perfect square. Going on and on, we have 19 squared, so 361 is a perfect square. 20 squared, so 400 is a perfect square. So if you take a look at those columns, so you can see the different perfect squares. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. So if in case you cannot remember or memorize this one, you can just always make use of multiplication by just multiplying the number to itself, and you will get the perfect square right away. Okay. Moving on. So do you now know what a perfect square is? So I hope yes, and it is easy already. So let's move on to square root. Well, square root is the exact opposite of perfect squares. Square root is the exact opposite of perfect squares. They usually look like a check mark or the radical sign with a line on top. So let me draw it here so you will see. So something like this. So you will be encountering this one and you call that a radical sign, but you read it as square root. Okay. So some of you may have encountered like, what is the square root of 36? Right? If you have the radical sign, there's a number inside. Square root of 81. So these are the things that you may be encountering soon, and you will be solving for those square roots. Okay, so square roots are two identical numbers when multiplied together that forms a number. Okay, so no need for Desmos. So how do we deal with square root? If we will go back to your table a while ago, so allow me to just move this and go to the table that we worked on, this one. And allow me to rewrite everything that we had a while ago. This one, this is 1, this is 4, this is 2, so okay, 3, 4. Okay, give me until there. So 9, 16. Okay, so a while ago, I told you that this area of the square are actually perfect squares. So this side of this chart are all perfect squares, the area of the square. So square root is the other way around. If that gives you the perfect square, the other side gives you the square root. Okay, and that gives you the square root. So if you want to know how to work on this, for example, I ask you, what is the square root of 1? So just look at the other column, it tells you the answer. So square root of 1, square root of 1, it will give you 1. So that's the square root. What is the square root of 4? It will give you 2. The square root of 9, it will give you 3. The square root of 16, it will give you the answer 4. Okay? So what you need to do is just to think of a number that when you multiply to itself, you will get the number inside the radicals. So another one, for example, 36. So for you to get the square root, you may think of a number that when you multiply to itself, it will give you this number, 36. So the answer there is 6. So the square root of 36 is 6. Another one, square root of 64. So what number, when you multiply to itself, you will get a 64. So the answer there is 8. So that is the square root. So if you will complete the chart, you will be seeing all of the lengths or your square root and all of the area of the square as your perfect square. So that is how related each of those things are. Okay. So if you will go back here, so it's in the Google Classroom, this one, the notes. So these are the square roots, everything on the left. Okay, allow me to give you, okay, square root here, square root, so you can have like an idea. And then the other side here are perfect squares, and this perfect squares too. Okay, that's how you work on it. So if I ask you what is the square root of 100, the answer is 10. Square root of 289, the answer is 7. The square root of 169, the answer is 13. Square root of 400, the answer is 20. Square root of 225, the answer is 50. So everything is there. Okay? So I don't need you to memorize everything. So what you just need to do is to practice on multiplication so you know how to get the correct perfect squares. Okay, and then if it is the other way around, if you need to get the square root, you may also make use of multiplication by thinking first of the number, then multiply it, and then once you get the number inside that radical sign, then you'll have the correct square root. Okay, so there, let's practice. So find the square root of 64. Can I give you 5 counts? 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Answer is equal to 8. Good job. Next, square root of 81. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Answer is 9. Good job. I hope you're doing it right. Next, square root of 169. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. The answer is 13. Next one, square root of 256. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. The answer is 16. And the last one, square root of 361. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. The answer is 19. Okay, so if you need some help, you just comment in our Google Classroom. Comment down below. If you're still in one, you need lots of help, teacher would like to help you one-on-one. Okay, I give you that. If 2, you still have some questions, just tell me. 3, you can do this task independently, and that's a great job. And 4, if you can teach others this new skill, why not? You can help others in doing this task. Okay, so good luck, and I hope you learned something today. Thank you so much. Have a great day.